Okay, guys. Now, we're going to be talking about the thing that we've really come to, like the thing we've all been waiting for, my review for Joker. Now, if you don't know, Joker was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I think at the time, if I'm not mistaken, let me just go over here. I'm looking over at my list of my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2019, and when it came to that list, it was what's the term I'm looking for? I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of the wording. Yeah, this list is accurate as of December 31st, 2018, and Joker was number 5. And because keep in mind there weren't a lot of trailers for this. There were not a lot of trailers for actually no, there were no trailers for Joker. Like we got to see how the Joker was going to look, and I was like, oh, I'm interested in this, and I was especially excited because this was going to be a comic book movie that was not connected to a cinematic universe. Like this was a standalone film that was it was just going to be this film and nothing else, and that fascinated me because look, I love the cinematic universes, but you can still do like I feel like we can live in a world where we can have cinematic universes and the standalone comic book movies. And so when I heard they were doing Joker, I was excited for that. And then, of course, the trailers have been nothing short of brilliant. Like, I wouldn't even just say brilliant. The teaser trailer for Joker is one of my favorite trailers of the year. It's right up there with The Lion King as being my favorite trailer of the year. The teaser trailer for Joker. That trailer was incredible. I was so excited for Joaquin Phoenix because he's a really great actor. And, of course, there's all this controversy as to whether or not this movie caused violence. Because, controversy's always good. And the movie's finally out. And what did I think of it? Holy shit, guys. You need to see this film. This is probably the most intense film of the year I've seen. This movie is, in many ways, a horror movie from a certain point of view. Not a horror movie in the sense of, things jumping out and going boo. Like, nothing like that. But the reason why I think Joker is so scary is that I could see this, this is going to be a non-spoiler review, by the way. This is going to be no spoilers. Oh, man, but the shit that happens in this movie, I could honestly see happening in my own hometown. This movie feels so real. It feels incredibly real. Even more real than Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. I still think the Dark Knight trilogy are overall better movies, but Joker, in terms of realism, this movie pulls no punches. This is a dark, depressing film. This movie is horrifying to think about. I mean, first, let's talk about Joaquin Phoenix. He's just as amazing as you thought he was going to be and more. Like, Joaquin Phoenix gives the performance of his entire career. And I'm not saying that because he's doing Joker, but oh my god. Like, what he's doing in this film, like, his performance is so layered. Like, this isn't a spoiler. This is just a basic understanding of how his character is. Like, it's literally in the beginning of the movie. It's not a spoiler, because you see this in the trailer. Like, Arthur Fleck, that's the Joker's name in this movie. Arthur Fleck, get it? Affleck? He has this mental condition where in stressful situations, he starts laughing And they portray this as like a real thing. I don't know if this is a real thing. This might be a real thing, I don't know. But like, it sounds stupid, but the way you see it on screen, you can tell he gets nervous a lot, because when he starts laughing, it's like his throat hurts. Like he starts coughing and wheezing, and it's like, oh god, like this is actually hurting him. And this movie, one reason why this movie's brilliant is that this movie manages to make you sympathize with this guy in the beginning of the film. But as you see him progress and, well, in this case, degress into becoming the Joker, you're going, no, don't, please, no, you were doing, like, I know you can do well in this world, just, no. But society just keeps pushing him and pushing him. And this movie has a lot to say about society. I mean, really, it does. Like, in this film, pretty much everybody is a dick. Like, everybody, like, there's not really many good people in this movie. And if they are good people, they're not in the movie a lot. Like, even Thomas Wayne, we know he's gonna be in the movie. Even he's kind of a dick. Like, we kind of figured this when we were watching the trailer, but he's not a cool dude. He's kind of a douche. Which is a very different way of us seeing Bruce Wayne, because we usually see, Thomas Wayne. Wait, did I say Bruce Wayne? I mean Thomas Wayne. This is a very different way of viewing Thomas Wayne, because he's always been, he's always been portrayed as, Bruce Wayne's, a role model for him. I mean, we don't see him a lot, but, he seems like a cool dude. In this movie, he's a bad dude. He's not, he's granted, he's nowhere as bad as Joker, but he's partially responsible for where Gotham is right now. And I just love that. It's taking something we know from the comics and twisting on its head, and I love that. Some other things I gotta mention about this film that I think are absolutely brilliant. For one, the cinematography. The way a lot of these shots are lit is so good. I mean, it's like, I'm like, whoa, this is a comic book film. I mean, I know it's weird to say, but I mean, like, there's this one scene. Again, I'm just putting in this here with no context. There's a scene that happens in a bathroom, and the lighting is so good during that scene. And speaking of the bathroom scene, that also gets me to another praise I have for the film. The score. Now again, you wouldn't think the score would be that good, but oh my god, this is one of the most terrifying scores I've heard in my life. And like, if you were to listen to the score on its own, you'd be wondering why I say that, but in context with, for example, the bathroom scene, it gets flipped on its head to being a horrifying piece of music. And I'm hoping this movie gets quite a few Oscar nominations, especially the big ones. But I'm also really gunning for this film for Best Original Score, because the score in Joker is so good. It's haunting. It's scary. And again, not scary because it's going boom or anything like that. It's like slow and creeping up on you, and it's building up to the Joker. To where, like, and that's when it comes, and that's another thing I have to say about this film. This film is, again, as I said before, this movie is tension filled. Like, there's not a moment in this film where I felt easy, where I felt like everything was going to be alright. This film always keeps you on the edge of your seat. And by the time this movie's ending, you're in shock. I don't know, I can't say for you, but I was in shock by the end of this movie. Because it's like, oh my god. I just don't know how to describe it. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the entire runtime of this movie. And, like, again, because, like, do not go into this movie thinking, oh man, this is gonna be a cool action movie with Joker. No, this is not that at all. This movie is scary, and don't think you're gonna go into this movie, like, when I say scary, don't go into this movie thinking it's gonna be like It. I'm not saying scary as in, like, things jumping out or anything. It's scary because I'm worried this is actually where we could lead ourselves one day. Now, keep in mind, this is not the same thing as me saying, like, I'm not saying this movie's going to cause violence. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if our society keeps going as it currently is, especially where I live, I worry that this is, by the end of this, that we could be in a state where this movie is by the end of it. I could see this happening in our society one of these days. And we need to do something about it. We really need to start having more of these conversations. And kudos to Todd Phillips, the director. Now, because, like, it's so weird. This guy was the director of the Hangover movies, and also the director of Old School. And I think one of the writers of Borat. This movie just, like, this is a completely different film from his filmography. And I love seeing comedians do this. I love it when comedians go for something, like, really dark and screwed up. And, again, if you look at this a certain way, this could be a horror movie. I'm absolutely floored by Joker. I'm even going to say this. I think it's better than Endgame. And Endgame is already, I think, a masterpiece of the comic book movie genre. But Joker transcends the comic book movie genre. It becomes even more than that. And that's not me crapping on comic book movies. I'm not. I'm saying this bends the genre. And I know some people are going, oh, but why are they doing more dark superhero movies and whatnot? I'm kind of sick of the dark, realistic comic book movies. I really feel like this is what the genre needs. Because I don't think there's comic book movie fatigue. I really don't. I do not believe there's comic book movie fatigue because the box office proves otherwise. I mean, all 3 MCU movies this year made over $1 billion, and Avengers Endgame became the highest grossing film of all time. There's no comic book movie fatigue if that happens. But if we get a balance of those cinematic universe movies with standalone, just not connected to anything comic book movies, like Joker, this is going to lessen the chances of comic book movie fatigue. This is good for the genre. And I was absolutely floored by this movie, guys. This is an incredible film. This movie is scary. This movie, Joker has incredible themes of mental illness and capitalism and whatnot. Like, this movie is absolutely... This movie is incredible. I'm running out of words to describe Joker. It's so good. If there was ever, I still think the Dark Knight trilogy is better than Joker, but if there was ever one that could give the Dark Knight trilogy a run for its money, it would be Joker. So guys, if you haven't seen Joker already, go see it. Go see it. See what I'm talking about. Again, this is not going to be this is not an action movie. Do not expect, like, you're gonna, watch this movie and be like, yeah, action. No, this is a drama. This is a psychological thriller, and I could not have been any happier with it. I am hoping Joaquin Phoenix gets nominated for Best Actor. And, again, this could change if I just so happen to see a lot of movies that are better than Joker, although, like, that come out later this year. Although if that happens, this would be, like, one of the best years for movies ever. But, like right now, I have a hard time believing that Joaquin Phoenix is not going to get nominated for Best Actor. I think he's going to be nominated for Best Actor and be one of the front runners to win. This movie, like, I could also see this getting a cinematography nomination. Score. I hope it gets Best Picture and Director and Screenplay and all that. So yeah, guys, go watch Joker. This is an incredible film. It is one of the best comic book films ever made. It is one of the best comic book films ever made. It's so different from any other comic book movie out there right now. I really suggest you go watch it. I love this movie so much. And before I move on, I just want to remind you guys that that I still have my Patreon account. If you want to support me through Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/ChristianTylerHannah, and there are 3 tiers you can choose from. Like, $1 per month gets your name in my videos. $5 per month gets you the audio-only version of the Hannahcast, along with your name in my videos. And $15 a month gets you the Hannahcast after show, where we just talk about any kind of random shit out there. And it also gets you the Hannahcast audio-only version, and it gets your name in my videos. And with that, guys, that's about it for this installment of the Hannahcast. Again, I'm sorry Raphael couldn't be here today. We'll try again next week. But I just really had to get this episode out because it's Joker. I really wanted to talk about Joker. So, yeah, guys. What do you think of all these topics? Let me know in the comments below what you think. And, remember, guys, if you disagree with each other, please be civil about it in the comments. Like, be nice to each other. We're all film fans. We're all just trying to have fun with movies and whatnot. So, that's about it, guys. Bye!